emails.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, everybody. Hope you are live with us. We are talking about Notable Hispanic Project Part 2. Let me know in the comments if you can hear me. Let me go make sure that I tell people that we are live because I didn't get a chance.
Mm-hmm.
I sent email reminders, but I didn't get a chance to post in the group.
Okay.
Okay. Hey, come on. Do you see anybody on there? Oh, I don't see anybody yet. So let's see. So yeah, you can go ahead and start while I tag everybody. And yeah, I'll let you get started.
Okay. Okay. Am I live already?
Yeah, you're live.
Hi, everybody. It's Juanita Reyes again with the Notable Hispanic Project Part 2, where today I'm going to show you how to walk your students through it and the creation portion. And also, I wanted to show you a demo of the students actually doing the speaking portion during my class last week. So, and one more thing is I wanted to show you a QR code version where you can turn it to like the audio poster instead of them, or you can combine, them presenting and then also turn in an audio poster using recording a program of Bookaroo and a QR code maker. So step one, I wanted to demo that the portion of using Canva, because if you look on part 2 of the project, they have to do a visual. So the students, I gave them the option. They could either do just like a slide that's more simple, and that's the one that I put in as an example on the files, or you can use Canva. So with Canva, let me go ahead and present. I'm going to kind of walk you through just how I go about doing Canva and how the students have also figured out how to do it. So let's do entire screen. All right. All right, so here's Canva. Hopefully you have a subscription. If not, I would definitely tell your school about it. We at our school we have a teacher subscription, so our students also have one because they're in our classes, as long as they use their email for the school. So what I did is, for example, my person that I want to do for my notable Hispanic is going to be maybe Severo Ochoa. So Severo is known for DNA and discovering all of that part of science. So one of the first. So I'm going to just do a search right here to see what Canva already has for me, because I want to make it creative, since my rubric says that she's looking for something creative, right? That's what the requirements are. So I'm just going to type in DNA, and then I'm going to type in enter, and let's see what pulls up for DNA. Now, I can also categorize this by the media, or sorry, not by media, by if I want it like education related or for science or whatnot. So I'm going to do all filters here, and then I'm going to go to, I think I did science over here. I'm going to do subject science, apply, and let's see, and it'll just filter it, narrow it down a little bit more for me. And oh, cool. There's one right there that I think that I can work with. It's a template and it looks like it's a presentation. So I'm going to go ahead and go grab that. And I just hit customize this template. And I chose it because I figured I can edit these words right here and make it his name. And then I can use this background. It gives it pizzazz. So I'm going to choose that one. And then right here, I'm going to go ahead and just type in Severo's name, because one of the requirements says that I need to put their name. So of course this size is too big, so I'm going to go edit it. So you can do all this in the program and just play with it. And this is what the kids are doing too. And guys, they figured this out. Once you just kind of show them how to find a template and they play with it, it's pretty it's pretty they're pretty tech savvy with it. So there's an example. I want to go ahead and I want to add a picture of Severo. So because that's a requirement. So on my files, I hit upload files and I go find it. I already had my file uploaded, but I just wanted to kind of show you. I just saved it on my desktop, and boom, there's Severo, and he's now in the little reel for Canva. So then I just clicked on it, and there he is. Whoops, I got him on here too many times. So that's an example of inserting an image. Oh, and you can even move your little DNA chromosomes and customize those. So I do have some requirements that are required for these 6 bullets of what to put on the visual. I believe one of them is like cumpleaños. So you can kind of type that and then make yourself your little visual that you need. So basically it's pretty self explanatory. You just play with it, type in stuff. You can insert text boxes as well. So if I do text box here, I can add a heading, and then I could do another word, another little phrase there, and move it around. So that's what the kids do. I do give them time in class to do this, to work on it, because we do have a work day. So I do give them time to work on their visual. And so yeah, that's how you insert images. You can also go search for images here. On the side over here, you can search for elements and images right there. So it's a little bit of everything. So there's the Canva portion. Now, whenever they're going to go turn it into you, this is the part where they may need some help. So you do share, and I always do have them download it as a PDF or as a JPEG. Either or works. I really like the JPEGs because I can blow them up a little bit easier than the PDFs, but either or works. And then they just hit download, and it's going to go to their files. Now, I have this set up for them to turn it in on Google Classroom. So all they have to do when they go to Google Classroom, and I can show you that, because this is where the students may need some tech help from you, because they're great at creating, but when it comes to the tech part, that's where they get a little confused. So once you're in the assignment, and they need to turn it in. Well, I have from the teacher perspective, so I can't really see it. But once they're in their assignment, on the right here, they're going to have a little thing that says turn in work. And then they have the option to attach either link or a file. If they have the file, they just insert it from their files. So that's pretty easy for them. I think Canva also gives you the option to do a link as well. The only thing is, if they want to do the link, here it is, public view link. The only thing with that is that sometimes it asks you to log in to Canva. So the teacher would need to be sure that they have a Canva account. Okay, so it may have an extra step. But what the cool thing about this one is the preview it's more clear. I like to see it better in this view. So it's just a preference thing, but the other one will work just as fine as well. So that's the part about Canva, about implementing that in your project. Now, I wanted to ask or see if you guys had ever used the program called Vocaroo. Rachel, have you done any lives regarding any audio programs?
I've done about what do you call it? So let us know in the comments if while we're discussing, let us know if you've used Vocaroo, etc.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so let us know that. But yeah, I have, but years ago I've used Vocaroo, but I've done audio about what do you call it? Flipgrid, which is now Flip.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I've done that.
Okay, so Vocaroo is just a program. Check to make sure that it's unblocked at your school. At my school, I made sure to check on that prior, because in the past I have ran into some tech issues with blocking of it. So it's not bad. It doesn't have any ads, anything like that. It's actually pretty safe for the kids to use. And it's just an alternative. Some students are able to have cell phones in the classroom, some are not. And we're actually not allowed to have cell phones. So this program works really good with their laptops. Not everybody has MacBooks. So this is like a universal recording program. So whenever I teach them on it, I don't have to, edit my instructions for the MacBook or for the Chrome or whatever. This is the instructions work for all of them. So basically you just record your voice. Once you go to vukaroo.com, it records you, stop it. And then it gives you the option to either embed it as a link or save the file. I always have them do it as download because sometimes the Vocaroo website, it may disappear after so many months. So just in case, I always have them download it. Once they download it, it's going to go to your files. Now, here's the catch. This is where the kids get a little bit confused because then they're like, where did it go? So it goes to their downloads, but some students are not savvy on how to find downloads. So this is the part you may need to walk them through it. Honestly, I just go to their computer 101 and I just try to figure out where their files go when they download them. Sometimes they help each other, which is great. But yes, you may need to help them with this part if they get stuck. So once it goes to your files, then you're able to have it there on your own files. And now I'm going to open up this program called QR code generator. Now, QR code generator is a program that gives you trial for 14 days. And in this trial, you're able to use it to its full capacity, which means you can create a QR code with audio. So we can create one live. I had one already created here. So we can put audio on it. So I'm just going to hit next.
And what's the name of the program again?
It's called
I'm going to put the link in the comments.
Here, I can send it to you. Let's
I love the fact that it's got the audio already in it. That's really cool.
Yes. It's called QR code generator. Do you want me to send you the link or post it on here?
Yeah, you can send it in the private chat and I'll put it in our general chat for them.
Okay. So there's the link. So yes, just be aware that it's only a 14-day trial. Okay. So if you were giving these kids 2 weeks to do it, just make them aware that once you create your account, that it's only going to save this QR code that you create on here for 14 days, unless you've already downloaded it. So they need to be done with the product and have it saved for them to be able to keep it. Okay. So that's the only caveat with this. I haven't looked recently. This was during the time that I did the QR code version. This was the program that I found and I just ran with it, and it was a 14-day program. So I'm not sure if there's any free ones that allow you to do this. I'm not sure, Rachel, if you have any experience with it or with any similar programs.
I mean, what I've done in the past is like we've done like a YouTube video or a link, and it and I use any regular QR code, and then it goes to it.
Okay, so with the YouTube video.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that's another way to do it, to do a YouTube video. And if they don't want to have their face in it, they can just do like a screen record of their like poster and them talking, right? So here's the MP3 audio way to do it. And then you just hit next. And then you go upload your audio from your files. So I have mine, like I said, I had already created it. So I'm just going to use one that I have here, the one that I just recorded, and it's uploading. And you can customize it, of course, your little sound bit, because what's it's going to do is once you have your phone and you scan the QR code, it's going to show them this on the right. So you can always edit this. This is a logo that's already on there. You can change it to something else that you have. So you can always change it to his name or something like that. That's pretty cool. It just recognizes what image you just had. So that's pretty cool. I didn't know that. And then, of course, you can put it to his name. Okay. And, of course, edit all this stuff. And you can put requirements on this. I'm pretty flexible. I'm just like, put it as something to know that that's the project, right? Audio de persona. Not that way. Okay. So then it takes you to the website. All right. Then I'm going to hit next. And so now you've created your little audio piece. Okay. And it's going to ask you, how would you like the visual of the QR code itself to look like? So it doesn't really matter, honestly. You can have it to where it says scan me, or you can have it to say, haz clic aquí, or whatever. However you want to do it. I'm just going to keep it like that and hit download. And there it goes. It's going to take me to my, I believe it took me, okay, so there's the QR code. Let me see. And you can download it as different items, however you want to download it as. I would always tell the kids go with JPEG. It's just always the easiest. And then go from there. Okay, so once you've got your QR code, it says on there active for 14 days. Okay. So that's I told you, that's the thing that will disappear after 14 days.
So it'll only be active during the 14-day trial.
I believe, I'm not sure. I haven't checked recently. The one, like I said, they created this in 2020. So I haven't checked to see if they're still active. I think they are. I think it's just you can't like create them again. Like you can't upload that same one or go edit it. Yeah. Okay. So now I was just going to show you, I was trying to pull up some examples of it already in bed of it on a project. Unfortunately, Rachel, I do not have any. I was not able to pull up any in that short amount of time. But I can definitely attach one to the items that I'm going to provide for them so they can see. Yeah. So I believe, have one here that has an example. Well, maybe. No, I don't. The example, I'm sorry, does not have it. Wait, maybe down here. Sorry, it's been a while since I've pulled this version of the project up. But I can show you what the students and what it looks like from those that turned it in this year for sure. So let me pull up one of those that the kiddos have turned in using Canva, and then we'll go from there. And then you can see how they can embed, they can put a little QR code on this poster itself. So here we have, that one's not created in Canva. Let me pull up one that's created in Canva. So Rachel, I don't know if you wanted to talk about Canva a little bit as well as I pull this up, just to kind of see how else your students use it for visuals.
Okay. So Canva just did some major updates. It came out like 2 days ago on the Magic Studio, and it is like, woo, game changer. So I just did a course on Canva. I just did a workshop on Canva. I think it was last week. And I said, hey guys, in a few days, they're releasing more stuff. I'm probably going to be doing another course. So I'm going to be doing a full course on Canva because last week I showed them the whiteboard, everything, how to provide comprehensible input, create presentations, you name it. But they added more awesome features. So I'm doing a whole course on Canva instead of just one workshop. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Okay. Well, here we have a student that created hers on Canva. So basically with that image, that download that we just took of the QR code, when they're in Canva, they would just put it on, let me go back to this Canva. They would just go grab it from their files, from their uploads, and they would upload it there. So then once they're done with the product and they've fixed it where they need it to be, it would go right there. And then we could print these off in color and hang them around the school. And they could play their audios once they scan their QR code, and everyone, that's getting water at the water fountain or whatever can listen to Mia's voice talk about Samantha Bricio. So that's one way you can use the QR version of this project. Okay. So any questions regarding the QR code version? It will take some, it's a little bit more tech responsibility. So does have like another layer because it's a tech part embed in there. So that will need to take some prep, probably some class time as well, so you can walk them through it. I did that during COVID period because, of course, as you know, we weren't able to be in person, so that was my alternative for that project that year.
And another option, you guys, when I have these major projects that I'm doing with my classes, one of the things I love to do is a step-by-step tutorial. I have all the instructions right now. They're on my classroom website. And then I do a video tutorial step-by-step using Loom. You can use Loom, Canva, whatever to record. And yeah. Screencastify, all of those. I prefer Loom or Canva. Yeah, and it's just, you know, and that way it's, they can do that. They can do it as a warm up or whatever. And that way it's easier because, you know, they're all going to have questions all at once. And that way I'm moving around helping and assisting. So that helps me out.
Right. And you can even do like how you said, like a warm up where hey, today you're going to create a QR code with audio. And then take that element and now you're going to use, you know, something like what you did for your warm up, but now you're going to do it about your person, you know? So you can always kind of warm them up to it. So they'll already be familiar with the process. So yeah, that's a great idea. I did want to also talk about the, how it looks like in the classroom when you do the interpersonal part of this. I was able to record my students. I had them reenact it for me because while they were actually, so guys, these rubrics that I've included, you can grade as they're presenting. They're pretty quick the way that I have them set up. So I tried to grade while they were presenting. Now, I also wanted them to show me to do a demo video for me. So with their permission, I do have a video of some of my students and they have their visual up. And here we have Zach, and he was very happy that I was going to use him as my example today. And meanwhile, the audience has these strips that I've included on the resources. And these strips are basically the questions, since they are the press conference. They're doing a press conference. Each student, there's actually 8. They have a question. Now I have 16 students, so not everyone has a question, but they rotate these questions around. And these questions are included in the material that I'm providing you with. And so here we have, you're going to see the audience. They're going to ask them the questions and he's going to respond. So it's just a quick bit just for you guys. Hopefully we can hear the sound, Rico. I think so, right? We'll see. Okay, now that was us acting for you guys. So they were kind of already checked out, but what you didn't see, I don't know if you caught it there, they have, they are working on something. See right there, this kid, he's got his paper that he's taking his notes on because it's the interpretive listening portion that I've included in your resources. So he's got that paper where he's got the box for Lin-Manuel and he's
Can you show them what that looks like? Yeah, can you share the screen? And you guys, I put the link in the comments for that project. So if you want to get the project comes with the first video training, this video training, where this one showed you how to do the QR code and all that and the tech. And then the first one, she went over all the resources and she'll show you guys again.
Okay.
So I'll put the link in the comments, and it helps if you purchase, you help to support the community so that we can keep bringing you trainings just like this.
Yes. Now, this one, it's just a basic interpretive listening portion of the audience that the audience has. As you listen to each presentation, you take notes in on only the Spanish portion, because this project has an English portion where they get to highlight their person on the notable causes. So it is very important that you stress that they only write down 3 facts that they learned from the Spanish audio that they heard from the Spanish. So they can write in English because this is tailored for Spanish 1. And they have to write the student's name, the persona that they're doing, notable, and the country they're representing, and of course what they learned. And you can add, edit this to add more boxes or whatnot, but you can tweak it to how what fits you best. So that's an example of what the kiddos are doing for that part of the portion of the project.
I love it. I love the whole press conference. Thing. My students really get into this types of projects, so
Yes.
they love it.
Yes, mine do too. And as you see, we don't have desks, so it's pretty it's laid back, and they are taking their time asking the questions, and they actually really want to be part of asking the questions. And they'll be like, no, I already asked that one, I want to ask this one. So sometimes you do have to calm them down, like, hey guys, okay, next person.
Mm-hmm.
But they get so into it, and honestly, they stay so engaged. And guys, mind you, I did this on a block day. Our block days are 60 minutes, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is not going to work, because they're going to so tune out. But because it's their work, because it's their peers, and because they're involved, and because they have to take notes, they are engaged. Like, I would say 95% of the time. So I had good results, and I hope that you too will also benefit from this resource.
And do you let them? Do you have like a list for them to pick the Hispanic person, or do they come to you and say, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing this person," and you say yes or no, kind of thing?
So yes, I actually do have a list. I have gotten this list from Spanish Mama online. I don't know if you follow her. So I can provide that link for you. I actually create a folder for my students on the platform that we use for the school. And in this folder, I provide them with websites, because I also have found, like, what if they want to research indigenous Hispanics? So I took it that angle, because I did have somebody that came up to me and say, Profe, I would like to do somebody that's never been done before. Those students that want to be unique in their own way, right? So I was on a mission to find a new list for these students. So I found indigenous historical Latinos. So let me just show you my screen here of the what I created for the kiddos as a resource for them to be able to find. Okay, so indigenous historical Latinos, and I'll share this with you. It's just like 11. Can you see my screen? Yeah.
Not yet. There we go.
So it's just a website that I found with indigenous. They wanted to also find females. So that's one of them that I found for them. And I want them to research them, which is why I provide them with the resource where they could go look it up. Okay. So that's just one resource that I found. I also use Fact Monster. I don't know if you guys have heard of Fact Monster, but Fact Monster, it's like a PBS site, and I'll provide you with that website as well. It's got a Hispanic American biographies. Let me zoom in on that. And it provides them with writers and actors and actresses and things like that. So many different names. These are more common ones. So this is going to be for the student that just wants to start from scratch. Okay. So that's another resource. And I just shared that link with you. Let's see, video. Yeah. So those are about the only 2 special person online, Hispanic original persona, historical people. Yeah. Like I said, I created a whole, okay. So this is that's those are the two that I use mainly for their research. There's another one by Spanish Mama that I thought I had included. I'm not sure which link it is, but Spanish Mama has one, and I can search that for you afterwards and send you that link as well if you want.
Yeah, I love Spanish Mama.
Do what?
I love Spanish Mama and her stuff.
Okay. Yes, me too.
Yeah, we used to watch the Mi Vida Loca
Yeah.
series, and she has a series of handouts.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh,
those are just some
really?
resources. I definitely encourage you to tell your kids, like, pique their interest with definition of notable. Also, what makes them notable, and then bring it to personal, bring it to community. My students ended up doing some projects over their family members or their family members' friends. Some of them have nannies, so some of them did it over their nannies, and they talked about how they're notable for their own circle. So that was pretty cool to hear. And those are like my favorite because, of course, they've really taken your project and really connected with it, right? So yeah, those are just some ideas on how to execute the project itself, and then what the end product could look like for you. Anything
I
else?
love it. Okay, guys. So ask your questions in the comments. Let me know what questions you have. I'm also going to find the link to the project and post it if you guys want to access the. Will you show them all the resources again? Because some people that are on, they didn't see the first training, so maybe
Yeah.
over it, some of all the resources and let them know what all is included.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. So what I'm demonstrating is from the project itself, I have created for Hispanic Heritage. However, Rachel and I were talking, this does not just have to be for Hispanic Heritage Month. You can do this throughout, whenever, whatever unit. If you're doing Persona Especial interviews, this is great. I actually started my Persona Especial interviews first, so they can kind of get a hang of the questions and how to respond to the questions. And then after they've had some practice with that, then I introduce this project. So, if you're doing Persona Especial interviews and you're doing like Super 7, like, you can hold off on this and then do it then. So it's the project has three parts to it. The first part, and I assigned it to them about 2 weeks in advance. It's the interview portion that they're going to create a script for, and their script is only for them to practice so that they will be prepared for the presentation. They're not allowed to use any note cards, nothing on the actual presentation day. So the speaking part is like a press conference. They're going to have students ask them questions regarding these topics, like greeting, give a condition, ask for their condition, how do you spell your name, when's your birthday, where's your family from, why are you famous? And that's where they tell me what they are, their job title, what's your name, how old you are, what language do you speak, and why they're interesting. Now, the why they're interesting, they do not have that Spanish built up yet. They're at level 1. Therefore, I allow them to do about 30-second max of speaking in English, but they cannot repeat anything that they just presented in Spanish. So, and then a farewell. So those are the requirements for the speaking. Now, in the resources, I've also included a rough draft page for them that they can. So because we try to discourage them from using online help, I make this an in-class writing assignment. So that way I can help them or they can help one another, and they're not using any technology to do this writing portion. So the question, and this is another way that you can bridge in using formality, because usted, we are using adults, respectable adults. It's not students. It's not anyone their age. Therefore, they're using ¿Cómo está usted? ¿Cómo se llama usted? ¿Cómo se escribe su nombre? ¿Cuántos años tiene usted? ¿Cuándo es su cumpleaños? So all this is already here for them with the Spanish question. Now they just have to respond. So that's what they're trying to figure out. And I walk them through some of these with sentence starters to double check their work and stuff like that. So that's an in-class writing. And I even put on here, if it's ¿Por qué eres famoso? Why are you famous? And now if we haven't gone too in depth on job titles, then I allow them to use wordreference.com or a translator that is approved. But they have to highlight it and show me that they used word reference for that. Like they don't know how to say, a botanist, a geologist or whatever. They can go look it up. And then, que es algo interesante, that's the English question, English response, and then, of course, a farewell. So this rough draft is for the students. This allows them to plan out their work, and this has a deadline that's at least 1 week prior to the presentation. So that way they'll have enough time to practice for the presentation. So that's the first resource. That's the rough draft. The next resource is the oh, sorry, I forgot to mention one. The one that you're going to need to give them when they're researching is the one that is a sign-up list. So this sign-up list is to deter your students from duplicating each other's presentations and having two, Selena Gomez's up here. And you can also do this like a wax museum. I have actually thought about wanting to do the wax museum and have them dress up and stuff like that. And I have done it my first year. However, we use uniforms, so it just became a little complicated here with the switching out of the clothes and stuff like that. So,
we've done where they dress up. Oh my, it's chaotic fun, but they get so much more into it when they love it.
Feel free to take it on the way that you would like to take it on for your school. Of course, each school is different, and we just have like a strict policy regarding dress code, and it just got a little out of hand. But so this is the list that you post in your Google Classroom or wherever they go sign up, or allow them to edit this document. You remember, you can see who all edits it in Google Docs. So they start deleting each other's names and stuff. I have had issues with that once. So this is where they just choose their person, put their name, they put their name, they put the person's name that they want to use, and then they have to go find out which country that this person is from. This year I went a little bit more in depth. I said, I don't just want you to find out that they're Mexican and they're from Mexico. I want you to find out where, de dónde es la familia. Is it Culiacán? Is it, la Ciudad de Mexico? So I had them step up a little bit more in their research. It was pretty cool. Most of them could find it. There was a couple people that they couldn't find, and I even tried for them. And yeah, it was like I would hit nowhere. Of course, there were like many generations of being in America already. But anyway, that's just a way to allow you to not, so the kids don't duplicate one another. They're like, oh no, they already took Luna Messi, So it's like a first come, first serve type of thing. So they get excited. This is what builds the anticipatory set. It's really cool to see this in action. So that's the very first thing that you do when you introduce the project.
And you could always print the document and maybe post it, and that people have to sign up, or
Sure.
Those are also options, so that they're not deleting each other's things.
Yes, and you can make it like at this time, like I'm going to announce when the sign-up sheet is going to be live, or the sign-up sheet is going to be in the hallway during your snack time or whatever, So you can build this up and just make it, fun for them. So that's the first part, though, that you do need to establish. And then, of course, I assign them like that night, or, for a homework or whatever. You need to look up at least, some background info about this person, because, of course, first they're probably going to want to have to research in English, and then, of course, convert it. Once we're working on it in class, they should already have that information looked up and ready to go, so that they can write it in Spanish on the writing day of the work day. Okay, so that's the first part. The second part is, of course, the rough draft writing that they're going to write. The third part, after they've written, is to then allow them to do the visual. Now, let's talk about the visual. The visual is the second part. So in this project, they are allowed to have something that's going to be, as you saw in my video that I just demonstrated of my student, he had his visual up. So that's what I'm talking about with the Canva or with the Google Slide. If it's a student that's like, I cannot figure out Canva, or I can't do it, profe, then that's fine. Do your little Google slide. So these are the instructions for that. I do have requirements. They have to have these little bullets on there. I can show you the student that we had. I can demo hers again to kind of show you what it was entailing. There's nombre, there's país, cumpleaños, famoso. Of course, she had some mistakes. But don't worry, that rubric covers it for you. I included all those rubrics on how to help you with that part, to grade that part. So there's the 6 things that they need to have. Now, mind you, you can tweak this, guys. This is just what I asked of them, okay? 6 things, and they can only have that. They cannot have any words. They can have numbers, and it tells them. You can have 8 visuals, and you have to have a country flag, and you have to have the photos that are appropriate. And they have to have the person's name and some sort of visual that demonstrates the country, something that demonstrates why they're famous. And this also helps them with their speaking when they come up here and they have anxiety and they're like, I don't know what to say. They can look at their poster and then they see their little trigger word, cumpleaños. Oh yeah. And then they have the number. I don't allow them to do the full birth date, but they can do the numbers like 12, 10, 23, or whatever. Okay, so that's the visual part. That's the part that needs to be turned in. I allow them the due date for that. I do a rough draft check, like maybe like 2 days prior to them presenting. It's not as, you don't need as much time to check word for word because it's a quick little, do they have this? Do they have words on it? Yes or no? If they don't, of course, warn them, tell them to take those words off. So they're not reading off the screen. The third part on this rubric, on this instruction sheet, I told them how to turn in the project. I use Google Classroom, and as you saw, I just had them attach it there, and it's ready to go for the day that they present, because on the day they present, I will grade their speaking part, and that'll just be them presenting that day. Interpersonal speaking, I have included the strips, so let me show you those. the talking press conference strips. And you can even use these, like if the kids want to review, if they've already finished everything, they're like, Profe, what am I supposed to do? Print off a set just to have them practice. So, and they can just practice, here during class as they have their work day. So this is just the questions. I have them for you already ready to go. You can tweak them if you would like to. If you're like, I don't want them to use usted yet, you can tweak it. Okay. So that's all editable. So that's the piece that I've added there. And then the last one is, of course, the rubricas. So let me just go over to make sure we're covering everything. So before the rubric, I also included that listening portion audience note-taking that I demonstrated to you earlier. So that's included on there. And I explained that to the kiddos of what they'll be doing while the kids are presenting. All right. And then I've included the rubrics for you. Now, the rubrics, here we go. The rubrics are testing the 3 modes of communication. If you follow ACTFL, this focuses on presentational writing. That's your poster. Granted, I know it's minimal writing. It's still a presentational writing. And I have the rubric, and you'll see it right down here in just a minute. And then I've included the second portion, which is the interpersonal speaking. And that is a rubric that you can use while they're presenting. You literally just do check marks and tally it up in the end before each person presents, and you can grade it right there. The last one is their interpretive writing, note-taking. And I've included a rubric on here for that as well. That was just a quick, like, did they get notes from everybody? Are they the Spanish notes that they heard that they put into English? It's pretty quick as well. Okay, so here's a rubric for the writing portion. This one says, did they provide at least 12 to 14 of the required elements? And here's the number 5 category, 4, 3, and 1, 4, 3, and this is 2, 1. So presentational creativity, did they go above and beyond and use Canva? If they use Canva, that's above and beyond to me because that's learning another program, and I definitely put them in this category. Their visuals, did they illustrate them with 8 appropriate images? Their language control, was it in Spanish? The little topics that I had them include. Was it comprehensible? Could we understand what they were trying to write there? How was their accuracy, like their accents, and things like that. Now, don't count off too much for that. Some of them were very concerned once they realized that they didn't have their accents right. But of course, it's a holistic rubric, so it's not too hard on them for it. And then I've included the little score sheet for you. So that I did have to grade those after they presented, because while they're presenting, I'm just focusing on their speaking. But once I saw their visual, if I saw like, oh, he forgot his accent on the I just kind of jotted down little notes on that. So here's the rubric that I use for interpersonal speaking. It's one that we developed as a school, as a department. We took ACTFL, and we also took our rubrics that we use from Entre Culturas, and we kind of combined them to make them a little simple. Knowledge and understanding regarding the vocab. Speaking, easily understood by someone accustomed to the language learner. Deliver your message with a series of simple sentences. This is the part that I really stress to them. This is a very important piece to their speaking. I always like to tell them about this before they present, and it helps their anxiety. It says, to get the highest score, the requirement says, I can self-correct some of the time, speaking with some hesitation, pauses, and a repetition. So there's like, oh, profe, I can hesitate? Yes. You can hesitate. You can self-correct yourself. If you make a mistake, you self-correct yourself. It's fine. It's actually part of our rubric if you do. So they like to hear that because it calms their anxiety down, because they come up here thinking that you want perfection. You're like, nope, that's not real world. So that helps them when you talk to them about that. Mechanics and grammar. And listening, I can identify the speaker's perspective by reacting appropriately. So like, were they able to answer these questions? Or when they asked, ¿Cuándo es tu cumpleaños? They said, tengo 24 años, you know, so obviously they didn't understand that one. And then I have a little spot where you can take their notes as they're speaking, and then a little check off list for if they accomplished like their greeting, did they ask the question, or did they follow up with the question, and things like that. So feel free to tweak this as you want. However, I've done most of the nitty gritty stuff. So that's for the interpersonal speaking. The last part is the interpretive listening notes. And this one's a little bit more simpler one. I basically just have boxes for, were they able to understand, little, some, adequate, good, or fair. Listen, were they able to listen and identify the key words? And were they able to connect with their audience in their questions? So that one's a little bit more simpler. Honestly, I just check to see if they have everybody's notes there, and do an overall, like on my scale of ABCD, and just check off these to make sure that they've got their knowledge and understanding. So that's a more simpler rubric that you can definitely tweak to your preference. So those are the 3 rubrics that I use. So that's included on the package as well. I believe that is everything. I can show you again the note-taking part, where the audience is taking the notes, and that was the last piece of it. So there's yours, and you can add more boxes or columns as you please. So are there any other questions? We can look at questions. Let's see.
All right, guys, that's your questions in the comments. I just put a link with a discount on there. If you're interested in the project, you can get $10 off, and I put the link in the comments if you're interested in that. So you it's right there. You can access it on the Facebook page, or if you're watching on YouTube, you can access it. But yeah, ask any questions that you have about how to do it. Maybe you need to see something again, like the QR code version or something. Let us know any questions that you have in the comments, and we'll be addressing them. Do you have anything else you want to show them?
No, I think that covers it. I had forgotten about those resources of the research part. So thank you for reminding me that I also had already made that. I also had those links, because that's what makes it interesting and really sets the tone for this project. and you saw how excited they were presenting that. The press conference with the student involvement, it it really helped this year. And honestly, I've never called it a press conference until this year, and it really connected with the kiddos. It felt more like a needed task. If I didn't mention press conference, but once I did it this way and we rotated the questions, because in the beginning I used to ask them, and it felt more like rigid and more like assessment type, you know. And
Mhm.
although this was an assessment, it I felt like it was more organic, and with the student involvement versus me just asking them these, 9 questions to everybody. So, and it's also less stress for you because the kids are the ones doing it.
Yeah, no, I've used to my teaching style has changed so much over the years because I used to be like in the center of the room and always someone talking and and now I'm more kind of like in the background and the kids are kind of doing the thing and I'm more like just making sure everybody's okay, more facilitating than actually doing all the teaching.
Right.
Because and it's led for my classroom to be more engaging and the kids are more involved rather than they're being lectured to
Right.
constantly where they check out.
Right. Right.
They're leading it. They're like, no, do it this way and blah blah blah. And so yeah, it's in as long as you set some parameters,
Right.
it goes pretty well. So
Yes.
yeah. I don't
And
see any questions. Let me see. Am I?
okay. I don't see any questions either.
Yeah. And so we're live in 3 different places, and
Mhm.
I've checked the comments in all
Mhm.
three.
Okay.
Yeah, we're live on YouTube. That's where we're live. But then I shared it out on the Facebook page and the Facebook group Tech for World English Teachers. So if you have a question, try to ask it here in the YouTube channel. And by the way, if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, subscribe. You'll get notified of when we'll go live or, when I upload new content. So make sure you are subscribed. So yeah, I'm gonna double check the Facebook page
Okay.
and see if there's any comments there. Nope, I don't see any comments. Wow. Okay then. I guess they got all their questions answered on the first one.
Yeah, yeah, because this was our second round of it, so they may have already kind
Yeah.
of, and this is more just like showing them in action and just in and that extra little piece of the QR code. So maybe they decided that they figured it out with it. Plus I detailed all of the resources. So
Yeah. So you can access I'm putting the link right here. You can access the resources here for the project. So it's $10 off. So you can access that. And we're going to be adding the links that she shared, the fact
monster.
monster,
Mhm.
QR code, and the other resources, the indigenous Latinos, etc. All of that, we're going to be adding that to the academy. So if you purchase a course, that will be added to it. If you're a member of the academy, then you can join us, and that will also be there. So yeah, well, thank you so much for coming on another for another presentation.
You're welcome.
Thank you everyone for watching with us on your Saturday. It's a beautiful Saturday here where I live. So I mean, you guys could be doing anything, and you came and oh, here's another resource. Hold on, let me. She sent me another resource, the Spanish Mama. So we'll add this. I'm going to put this in the comments as well. So hopefully you guys will get it. And yeah, so we'll add all those resources. So you get workshop 1, workshop 2, and the project itself, plus the resources, all of that will be included. And it's now $10 off. So you can get it for a discount. There's and like she said, you don't have to do this just for Hispanic Heritage Month. You could do this any time of the year if you're doing the special persons interviews,
Mhm.
which is for any time of the year.
Sure.
I don't do when I started doing my special person interviews. I was doing them before Hispanic Heritage Month, and then after. So. during Hispanic Heritage Month. I was doing other things. But yeah, so I love this project, and thank you so much for coming on. And oh, Sylvia says, mil gracias. Gracias.
Oh, de nada.
Yeah, so hopefully let us know if you're trying the project. Let us know, Sylvia, and how it went, any questions. You can let us know inside the Tech for World Language Teachers Facebook group or our brand community, the Tech for Spanish Teachers community. So, and I don't know what's going on. I'm using my computer mic because this thing did not want to work. So I do hear some kind of feedback, but it's fine. But anyway, thanks so much for coming and doing this again. And yeah, I hope that we can have you on in the future for some more projects.
For
And
sure. I'm always creating just different things that just come to my mind. And I assess my kids this way a lot using different modes like this. And so I'm constantly coming up with, all right, how do I relate this unit to executing this type of assessment that's a communicative?
right, because yeah, when they're saying when you're planning, plan with the end in mind. So start with like, well, okay, what do I want my students to know, and then working backwards. So I think that's wonderful, and I love the idea that you're not just paper and pencil quiz, and that like my students, I very rarely did those paper and pencil quizzes, and so I would get parents calling me like, my son says you never quiz them or whatever, and then I would be like, oh no. And then I would have to show them all the different ways. It's so different, and trying to explain to them that this is a language class, so it's not going to be the same type of assessment as another type of class. So yeah, I mean, I'm constantly assessing my students. So, but thank you so much, everybody, for coming and spending time with us on your Saturday. And hopefully it's a beautiful day where you guys are, and you can go enjoy your day with your families or your friends. And yeah, and try the project and let us know in either the Tech for Spanish Teachers groups or the Tech for World Language Teachers group. How your students like it. And if you have any questions, let us know. If you're watching the replay, let us know if you have any questions, and we'll try to get to all the questions.
Yep.
All right. Thank you so much, Juanita, for coming on. And have everybody have a wonderful day. Thanks.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.